Find the exact value of each expression in radians. Oh, sine inverse of sine something, cosine inverse of cosine, sine inverse. This is inverse function. Okay, sine inverse of sine, they can be cancelled as long as this angle is, let's say, x. Sine inverse of something, this x, the range should be in between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. If this angle is in between negative pi over 2 to pi over 2, then their actions cancel. The x, that x survives. If that is not in between here, then we have to manipulate sine of that. Then eventually we can cancel. So pi over 5, not a standard angle. Like standard angle means 0, pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3, 90, and their multiples in the second, third, fourth, and so on quadrants. Okay, so here they simply cancel because pi over 5 is in our range, correct range. For cosine inverse, it's slightly different. Cosine inverse of cosine x equals x. I mean, if that x is in between 0 and pi. Okay, this could be a negative number. That's all right. I mean, this could be negative could be a negative number, but as long as this x is in here, then that's the case. If that x is outside of that, then we need to manipulate inside first, because these are periodic functions, so their values repeat, so we can always bring them back to first or second quadrant. So pi over 6 is here. Okay, this is 6 pi over 6. So cosine inverse and cosine cancel, simply pi over 6. Or in this case, since pi over 6 is a standard angle, we could have done in this way. Alternatively, this is cosine inverse of, let's find the value of cosine pi over 6. Using the unit circle, cosine pi over 6 is negative root 3 over 2. And cosine inverse of negative root 3 over 2 is back to pi over 6. Okay, but here, since our angle is in correct range, so we are done. Part C, sine inverse tangent. Okay, these are now different. We can't. So let's find the value inside first. So here, this is sine inverse tangent 3 pi over 4. Using the unit circle, we can find the value of tangent 3 pi over 4, which is negative 1. Or punch in your calculator, it's sine inverse of negative 1. And we know that sine inverse and tangent inverse are odd functions. That means we can pull negative outside, negative sine inverse of 1. Now we want to find the angle whose sine is 1. So sine of which angle is 1? We know that sine pi over 2 is 1. Okay, so negative pi over 2. Okay, tangent inverse tangent. Okay, same thing like here. Tangent inverse of tangent of something will be that thing if that thing is in between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. Sine inverse and tangent inverse has range about the same, but in sine inverse we can include the ends, negative pi over 2 and pi over 2. But in tangent inverse, no. But pi over 7 is clearly in the first quadrant, 1/7 pi. We can go up to 1/2 pi. So we can simply cancel. So the answer is pi over 7. Okay, that's final.